So we all know the Mandalorian season 3 premiere is like the big hype right now, but the Bad Batch is still releasing its final episodes here as the Mandalorian is also premiering. I think it's the first time there's a big overlap here, but the Bad Batch, I forgot the episode number tonight. It's like 11 or something. This one is a much better one than the last few. I haven't actually liked this season a lot at all, but we finally got another solid episode here, and it's exploring a different storyline that I'm just super happy that they are exploring now. And it almost seems like we're almost done with the whole Rampart, transition to the Stormtrooper stuff in a way, and we're moving into more cloning type of stuff, and it's interesting. So we start out with like a horror type of vibe. We get some more later too, but a horror type of vibe with the beginning of this clone like commander guy, the clone commandos or whatever they are, and he's just kind of running through these like halls of a ship that's crashed, and there's some creature inside. There's always a creature for them to fight, and he basically gets eaten, and that's about it. That's like the opening scene of the episode. And then we move to the Tantus place, the Mount Tantus place that we saw at the end of season 1. So finally we are seeing it. I'm just glad we're finally going into the storylines that we introduced in season 1. Took a long time, took a lot of bad episodes to get there, but we are there. We're introducing this new doctor cloning guy. He's involved with cloning and stuff. Don't remember the name, brand new character, but he ends up talking with some like Nala Se, who is refusing to do any work for the Empire because the Empire blew up Kamino, and she doesn't want to work for them. So they kind of come up with this idea that they reveal that Lama Su, the Prime Minister of Kamino, or former Prime Minister, is actually still alive, and they have him in custody, and they're going to bring him to this new place, and they're going to try to convince Nala Se to work with the Empire and do all this cloning stuff they're trying to do. The Bad Batch, they're obviously off their, just finished their mission of, getting off that one planet. They're mad at Sid because she provided no aid, and they're finally, oh my god, they're finally talking about getting rid of Sid and just abandoning her because they're sick and tired of what Sid has been doing to them. I hope that happens real soon, but they still go on another mission from Sid, but they're very hesitant at this point. And this mission is obviously to explore this wreckage of this, these clones that were in this wreckage and this creature on this ship that's crashed. So they go and explore it, and they realize something really wrong happened here, and all these clones and the crew were eaten basically by a creature. And this creature is a very interesting creature. It's essentially this like creature running around the ship, and it's like consuming electricity and power, and we don't really know exactly what this is supposed to be. The Bad Batch are very curious. They go through the ship, they explore that it was like a Kaminoan ship, and they want to go in and explore more about this creature, what it exactly is, what kind of cloning was going on with this creature, with the Empire, what were they doing with it. And then Hunter and Wrecker go off to try and stop this thing before it attacks a village after it escapes from the ship that they were on. Tech and Omega end up staying back, and they end up finding out it is a baby Zillo beast. I don't know if it's altered in any way since we saw it last in the Clone Wars, but this is that big creature that basically they brought to Coruscant and ended up attacking Coruscant. At the end of the whole arc there with the Zillo beast, I don't think it really was explored all too much after that, but Palpatine wanted the Zillo beast for something really badly. And it's something about he initiated the whole like research into the Zillo beast and all that stuff before he was even the Emperor, or it was during the Clone Wars when he was still Senator Palpatine or Chancellor Palpatine in the Clone Wars, and that's when he initiated all this like Zillo Beast stuff. It's something with the armor of the Zillo Beast, and he wants to turn in some sort of weapon or some asset to him, and we're finally going back into that storyline, which I actually really love that they're doing. I don't know how much further we're going to get into it, but I'm glad they're touching on this again, because this is a storyline that it feels like it was left untold, and we're finally getting it, a storyline from the Clone Wars continuing on in the Bad Batch. I like it. Then the Empire arrives, because they're still chasing down their asset as well. They're trying to chase down and recapture the Zillo Beast, because it's their thing. That's what they were wanting. They were cloning and messing with this thing. So they're there, but the Bad Batch are also there. So it leads to a conflict. The Bad Batch and the Empire kind of face off. The Bad Batch basically have to run away from the Empire, and the Empire takes the Zillo Beast. They kind of like stun it and knock it out. They figured out how to kind of control this thing already. They knock it out, and at the end they end up putting it into like a big tube thing, and that's basically what the Empire does with it. They want to keep it. There's some sort of big plan from Emperor Palpatine, and the Bad Batch obviously get away because they always get away from the Empire, and the Empire kind of took in everybody from the village that he was going to attack. They took in everybody from the village, and they're going to be dealt with. I'm assuming they're going to be terminated. That's my assumption, because they saw the Zillo Beast. So the Zillo Beast situation is a very, very top secret thing that the Empire is doing and Emperor Palpatine is doing, and it's obviously got something to do with the Tantus stuff and the remaining Kaminoans, Lama Su, Nala Se, and they're bringing them in because they want them to cooperate and deal with this whole cloning thing, and we don't really know what they're doing exactly. At the end of the episode, you got Hunter, just the whole crew there, starting to realize that the Emperor has had this set in place for a while before he was even the Emperor, and the Zillo Beast is something he wants to turn into a weapon, and he's dealing with cloning, and they want to control cloning. And the whole reveal at the end is that they blew up Kamino not because they want to stop all cloning and whatnot. They want to control the cloning power. They want to be in charge of cloning. They don't want Kamino to be in charge of cloning. The Empire wants full control over the ability to clone, and that is why they blew up Kamino. So we finally got a storyline that matters to this show, and I thought it was really interesting. I can probably watch this episode with a few of the other good ones, and that's all I need. I don't need all those random filler episodes. I really don't. I probably will never rewatch them. But this was a solid episode for the Bad Batch. Not the best one ever, but it progressed the storyline finally. And I'm glad it did that. But they kind of have to, because they've done nothing this whole season, and now they're going into their final stretch of episodes. So I think that was episode 11 of the Bad Batch season 2. Came out same time as Mando season 3. Lots of Star Wars stuff right now, and I gotta say, this week was 2 good, solid episodes of Star Wars stuff, and I'm glad, because we've had some really big duds, especially from the Bad Batch, and especially from the Bad Batch recently, and then some of the past shows I just haven't liked so much, so it's good to have some decent stuff right now. But Bad Batch, I'm actually looking forward to next week, finally, for Bad Batch, because this was a good, solid progression in the storyline now. We're kind of moving past Rampart, it seems. I think we gotta explore Crosshair and stuff at some point, but I think we're kind of moving past that ever since the initial stormtroopers are now in the new thing that they're going to do. Now we're moving into this cloning thing that the Empire's doing and what they're meddling in with and all that stuff. So I think it's cool. Good Bad Batch episode, and on the next week, along with the Mandalorian episode 2, it's a lot of Star Wars.